introduces you to the best businesses and tells you about upcoming buzz. Preset your radio to TAN Talk 1340 AM or 106.1 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. That is the Be Local Buzz with Devin on TAN Talk 1340 AM and 106 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
It's time for the Kelly Show. Kelly is an award-winning photographer and the owner of the website iloveclearwater.com. Doug is the author of 4 published books and a contributing editor for Florida Sportsman magazine. And now, here they are.
Well, hello there. Doug is not here today, obviously. He's with us in spirit, and he is listening in. But I want to say hello to all our loyal fans, and we are broadcasting in 4 counties right now. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, and we're podcast at internetradiopros.com. And Ed Davis, our executive producer, is here with us today, and he's in a little room off the side. You can't see him, but he's here, right, Ed?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. Maybe not. Okay. Is anything going on in the sports world?
Oh, it's kind of a boring time right now.
Yeah.
You know, baseball, Rays kind of stink. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
Even though they only got a nice brand new stadium deal. And then the Bucks are finished their preseason game. So then the NFL takes a week off.
Yeah.
And then the regular season starts.
You see, if I were Doug, I would know that, but I'm not, so I don't. So
but if he's listening, I'll tell him this, that, you know, we've all seen that sometimes businesses bring in these CEOs that make stupid mistakes, try to overthink things.
Yeah.
Well, the NFL is dead set on expanding around the world. You know, that people have their own, well, they call it soccer, we call it kickball, but they have their own thing, but they're trying to shove it down their throats. So to start the season this year, 2 teams will play in Brazil for the first time.
Oh.
Now they're going to play in a stadium that the host team that plays soccer/kickball there, their home, their colors are green. So in respect to that, the 2 NFL teams that go there to play in their uniforms can't contain any green.
Ah.
The NFL picked the 2 teams that have the most green in their uniforms.
The Packers.
The Packers and the Eagles.
Okay. So what are they wearing? Are they going nude?
Pajamas? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe they have to.
They're going to wear those. You ever see the weeks where they wear those throwback ones where you're like, who the heck is that? That's what they're going to be wearing.
I
so
see. Well, maybe the Emperor's new
somebody
clothes
should be fired for that one, you know?
Okay. Maybe they did it on purpose just to be funny.
There's
always a joker behind the scenes. You know that? Okay. Okay. That's funny. Before we get to our exciting guest today, we're going to have an ad break. But first, here's a trivia question. Which ancient civilization is credited with first creating wearable art by incorporating intricate jewelry and textiles into their everyday attire, setting the foundation for the tradition of wearable art? And we'll tell you the answer in a moment.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and noise at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at guyharvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at guyharvey.com.
Just about everyone is fascinated by the mafia. Books and movies like The Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, and many others became bestsellers and box office hits. Did you know that a century ago, mobsters like Al Capone discovered Florida's tropical climate and sparse law enforcement? Mafia bosses from around the nation began setting up illegal operations in Florida. Now, for the first time, a new book titled Sunshine State Mafia, A History of Florida's Mobsters, Hitmen, and Wise Guys provides vivid stories and never-before-seen images of dangerous criminals who settled in Florida full or part-time. Written by renowned author Doug Kelly, Sunshine State Mafia exposes the hidden history of the mob throughout the state and includes Doug's own brushes with crime figures. Sunshine State Mafia is available at all major book retailers, or obtain a signed copy by calling 727-724-4949 or email sunshinestatemafia@gmail.com.
What do the most successful companies have in common? They leverage growth by forming valuable relationships and partnerships. Amplify Clearwater puts you in touch with accomplished business and community leaders that inspires networking and helps you navigate the best courses of action for your company. Become a member and instantly acquire a powerful edge over your competitors by forming strong connections with top business leaders and elected officials. Amplify Clearwater. One community, one chamber, one vision. Contact us at amplifyclearwater.com or call 727-461-0011. That's amplifyclearwater.com. 727-461-0011.
Discover Clearwater like never before with iloveclearwater.com. Whether you're a resident or a visitor, our website is your go-to source for all things Clearwater. Find the best hotels, restaurants, parks, shopping, and events all in one place. Dive into our engaging photos and videos. Explore over 500 informative articles. Visit iloveclearwater.com today and experience the best of Clearwater. iloveclearwater.com, your ultimate guide to Clearwater for fun, sun, and smiles.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Kelly Kelly. And before the break, I asked you a trivia question. Which ancient civilization is credited with first creating wearable art by incorporating intricate jewelry and textiles into their everyday attire, setting the foundation for the tradition of wearable art? And the answer is the ancient Egyptians. And that kind of makes sense. They had some nice stuff there. Okay, especially the headdresses. But our guest today is Lena Teixeira.
Beautiful. Good job.
I was told to roll the R, so that's what I did. She is a Clearwater City Councilwoman, community leader, artist, and fashion designer. Welcome, Lena.
Thank you. I'm very excited about tonight.
Awesome. So today we're going to gain some insight into your creative journey challenges, inspirations, and industry perspective. And first, to get started, tell us a little bit about your background and family.
So I was born and raised in Montreal to Portuguese immigrants. And because I was raised in Montreal, like most people, we're multilingual. And then I met and married a man from Italian descent. So that makes it 4 languages. So
awesome. So what languages are those?
So I think in Portuguese.
Okay, cool.
So sometimes when I'm, excited or tired, or you'll hear me say, what's the English word for, but so it's English, French, Portuguese, and Italian.
That is so cool. Okay. So do you ever confuse the languages somewhere?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Okay. Well, I think I would just slip up and say French here and there. And okay. You have an event coming up called the Uncommon Couture exhibit from September 3rd through the 21st at the Clearwater Main Library Galleries. Yes. So I have a bunch of questions in regards to that.
I'm ready.
What inspired you to start designing wearable art, and how did you get into this field?
So, like most things in my life, it wasn't planned. It was more like an opportunity presented itself, and I cannot say no to it. So at that time, my daughter was, I think, 16, and she was modeling.
She was beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful girl.
And she, being that young, and I was very aware of the pitfalls of the entertainment business, I never left her alone. Mm-hmm. And when I would accompany her, there was a lot of downtime and things would happen. And instead of just sitting there and doing nothing, I would help. So, designers wouldn't show up, hair and makeup, something wouldn't work out, and I would contribute. And then it just evolved from there. It was one specific story that I think at that time I already started getting involved in the shoots, and I was actually helping direct the shoots with concepts. And so we had this really big, elaborate set. And about 4 days before the date, one of the designers, Rondrins Kent, very talented young man, he told me, Lena, I'm so sorry, one of the outfits is missing. I can't find it. And so that put me in a difficult situation because that meant that I would have to cancel one model, and I didn't want to do that. So I said to him, hey, do you mind if I just come up with something that goes along your theme, but I'll make it very clear that it's not yours? And at that time we had a good relationship and he trusted me. And so I did do that garment, and the shoot went forward. And a picture of that, my first garment, is now at the library at this point. Yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're not going to give us any clues on that.
I
can. But you did show me a picture, and it was inspired by the ancient Egyptians. So that was pretty cool. Is that going to be in the exhibit?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's see. Can you describe your creative process from concept to completion for a piece?
So it varies whether it's commissioned or not. Meaning if someone comes up to me and says, I'm having, an event and the theme is Alice in Wonderland, then of course the creativity is very narrow, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's confines. But my favorite creative process is when I see someone, and back in the day was a model, that would inspire me, or I would come across a material that I'm trying to get rid of in my garage. And then that starts something. Like my favorite so far in terms of how it just happened was my children finally grew up, and I had a bunch of Barney tapes. Barney, I love you.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand that dinosaur. And so
I can relate to that.
I wanted to celebrate my children passing that stage. So I unwound all the tapes and I wove the tapes and I made garments out of it.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Right now I have about 5,000 plastic bottles and bags sitting at my curve. Could you do anything with that?
Sure.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how do you choose the materials you work with, and what role do they play in your designs? I mean, do you just walk by something like a pile of something?
Yeah, sometimes it's very accidental. And sometimes, like I said, it's commissioned, meaning someone says they want to do something, Lately, what is inspiring me is as I grow older, right, you get more reflective of the past.
Yeah.
And so in the last, I think 4 or 5 collections, I went to the past. So I went started with my respect for culture, right? My husband being of Italian descent, mine being Portuguese. So I did Mundo collection, which is my interpretation with a tongue-in-cheek of the folkloric garments of different countries, to the evolution of fashion, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
To the collection of Buffalo, which is this great British designer slash artist that started a revolution in England, where he did a lot of gender bending and using different images that really pushed the boundaries. So I kind of, looking back, I also did an homage to David Bowie right after he passed away. That was a really fun collection. And then
what was that out of? Because I saw a picture.
So there was, I think, about 15 pieces. So my favorite of that collection was a collaboration with my daughter, who was at that point, she was studying at New College and she was welding. And so she welded the form that emulated his famous jumpsuit. And then I created a garment that went over that form. So I loved collaborating with her.
Okay. I saw the picture that I saw had cake plates. Am I saying that right? Cake something.
Yes, I used cake plates, cake stands, cupcake fillers, and everything.
That's crazy. I mean, I would never go past like cupcake papers and think, oh, I can create a dress out of that. That shows great imagination.
Thank you.
How do you balance aesthetics with functionality in your wearable art? I mean, is this stuff that you can wear on the street, or
some are? I have, I have used images of my art to put on tights, on t-shirts. My shoes are very wearable, but again, it's what the end purpose is, right? If it's a fashion show, I don't care if I need to use it again or not. I've done plenty of pieces where they just are just for that show.
Okay.
To me, the creativity is the priority. Mm-hmm. However, if it's a customer or a client rather that is going to an event, then it's a total different priority. It's how is she going to get in it? How is she going to get out of it? How is she going to sit? Or he. So then it's very different. That's why I like the fashion shows, because there's no limits, and I incorporate performance art as well, which is also very important in how the garment is made.
And sometimes you really can't sit in it, right? You have to stand.
Yes, that garment that was welded, you can't sit in it. I have a wedding collection called Something Borrowed, made out of cotton swabs, surgical gloves, and bandages. Those dresses had to be redone every single show.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
I mean, cotton swabs, they're small.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
I don't even know, because I used to do it. I have like a neck issue, so I have to watch TV while I do it. So it forces my neck to go up and not stay in one position. So at that time, I think I was watching
Barney?
that zombies show.
Walking Dead?
Yeah. So every time it was a gruesome...
That's inspirational.
Well, every time the gruesome parts would come up, that's when I would really delve into the piece. And then when it was the drama, then I'd look up.
Okay. That's something else. Do you take pictures of each collection? I mean, some don't last at all, but...
Absolutely. Then I take professional pictures.
The one that I perked up at was the evolution of fashion. Mm-hmm. Is any of these photo collections going to be in this exhibit?
I have, I believe, 3 or 4 pieces that will go on the wall.
Okay. But most of it is on a dress form?
Yes.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to do, because it's still, I'm using my bigger dresses, because if there was models, then I use more user-friendly. But so I'm having one that was inspired by the evolution of fashion, but specifically the Tudors. So I call it Anne Boleyn dress. I love K-pop and I love K-drama. So I have one that's Joseon era. And then I have my version of homage to Canada, using some of the imagery for that represents Canada. So that's another big dress. And then I'm building one from scratch starting tomorrow because it'll take most of the room.
That's great. Mm-hmm. You don't need plastic bottles, do you? No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's inspired by the garden, so I'm using landscaping.
Okay,
supplies.
I just learned something new about you. I'm a big K-drama fan as well, so we'll have to discuss that later. So yeah, and that's for listeners who don't know Korean.
Yes,
Korean dramas.
Yes, it's very unique. It's not for everyone.
It's different. Yeah, for sure. What is the most challenging piece you've ever created, and how did you overcome those challenges?
So this was early on in my career where I would draw the collection and then try really hard to stick to the original design. Uh-huh. And that works if you're starting from scratch. But the way I do my art, I'm repurposing using uncommon or mundane or weird materials that do not cooperate. So I wanted to do a dress made out of coffee and coffee filters and coffee cups and stuff like that. And so it just wasn't working until I, for the first time, got into what I call the zone. And it's this very weird feeling that I get where I'm not present and I'm not really aware of what I'm doing. And the materials just kind of tell me what they're going to do. And so when I stopped trying to control it, then this beautiful dress came out where I respected the coffee bean instead of trying to force the coffee bean to do what I wanted it to do.
That's crazy.
And it was challenging because I didn't realize that with the hot glue, the coffee beans were warm. So all that caffeine was going through my skin and I couldn't sleep for days.
So you're hyper.
Yeah, very hyper.
Okay. So I'm also a big fan of Project Runway, and I'm sure you've seen it too. And every season, they have the unconventional art challenge, which is basically wearable art.
Yes. So that was, I have to say, one of the highlights of my career was I was invited to be in the Atlantic City Fashion Show, and I opened for Dom Streeter and Alina Castillo, both super winners, right? And I was very intimidated. It was early on in my career. And as you know, I started my career as an artist and designer very late in my 40s. And so I was very intimidated and I felt very vulnerable that I was going to be opening for these ladies, right?
That's huge.
And they were so sweet and so supportive. And that will forever be one of the many special moments. Opening for them. It was humbling. It was so humbling.
Have you seen every season of Project Runway?
No.
Okay.
I've been asked to. I've been asked, not officially, but through some channels to be involved. But I don't like all the drama that goes with it.
This is true.
I'm like too old for that.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah, I'm not going to air out my dirty laundry like that. I'm not going to have a fight with someone. So
that's true.
So sometimes it bothers me because it interferes with what really it is, which is a celebration of the art, all that drama. So I just kind of lost interest.
Okay. But what I was leading up to, is there a unconventional art challenge that you saw that you said to yourself, I wouldn't want to work with that because they've done flowers, they've done pet supplies. Any of those speak out to you?
No. As a matter of fact, I think from all the ones I've seen, I've either done it or I've tried to do it. Basically, I've done it. I love every Christmas. People send me pictures of those Christmas trees. Yes. Dresses made out of Christmas trees and branches. And it was kind of cute for the first 2-3 years. After a while, I'm like, come on, guys. I've done this a decade ago. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've done it. You know what I mean?
So there's not one material that you would never work with?
Yeah. I would never work with the meat from
that's a good one.
From
That's
Lady Gaga.
Answer.
But one of the things that irritates my kids is when I do watch, let's say, what's that big tournament for football? God, don't kill me. What's it called?
Football tournament, Ed.
That's the one, yeah. So when I watch the halftime Super Bowl, that's what I really watch it for. And I see whoever it is and they're wearing what they're wearing. I'm like, I look at my kids and I go, I could do that better. Yeah, Ma, I know. Like that is not what I would put her on her, not with her body type kind of thing.
I love it. Well, we're going to take a short break, but I have another trivia question. Who is the most successful fashion designer of all time? I know it's subjective, but there we go. We'll be back with the answer in a moment.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at GuyHarvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at GuyHarvey.com.
Just about everyone is fascinated by the mafia. Books and movies like The Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, and many others became bestsellers and box office hits. Did you know that a century ago, mobsters like Al Capone discovered Florida's tropical climate and sparse law enforcement? Mafia bosses from around the nation began setting up illegal operations in Florida. Now, for the first time, a new book titled Sunshine State Mafia, A History of Florida's Mobsters, Hitmen, and Wise Guys, provides vivid stories and never-before-seen images of dangerous criminals who settled in Florida full or part-time. Written by renowned author Doug Kelly, Sunshine State Mafia exposes the hidden history of the mob throughout the state and includes Doug's own brushes with crime figures. Sunshine State Mafia is available at all major book retailers, or obtain a signed copy by calling 727-724-4949 or email sunshinestatemafia@gmail.com.
What do the most successful companies have in common? They leverage growth by forming valuable relationships and partnerships. Amplify Clearwater puts you in touch with accomplished business and community leaders that inspires networking and helps you navigate the best courses of action for your company. Become a member and instantly acquire a powerful edge over your competitors by forming strong connections with top business leaders and elected officials. Amplify Clearwater. One community, one chamber, one vision. Contact us at amplifyclearwater.com or call 727-461-0011. That's amplifyclearwater.com. 727-461-0011.
Discover Clearwater like never before with iloveclearwater.com. Whether you're a resident or a visitor, our website is your go-to source for all things Clearwater. Find the best hotels, restaurants, parks, shopping, and events all in one place. Dive into our engaging photos and videos. Explore over 500 informative articles. Visit iloveclearwater.com today and experience the best of Clearwater. iloveclearwater.com, your ultimate guide to Clearwater for fun, sun, and smiles.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Kelly Kelly. I'm here with Lena Teixeira. And before the break, I asked another trivia question. Who is the most successful fashion designer of all time? And understandably, that is subjective, but
I got it right.
Lena got it right. Who is it?
Coco Chanel.
Coco Chanel. Absolutely. And show off your earrings. Lena is wearing Coco Chanel earrings, and I had to laugh at that when I first saw her, knowing the trivia question was coming. And her full name is Gabrielle Bonheur Chanel, and she's known as Coco. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Lena, how important is fashion?
I think fashion's very important, and it's been important throughout the history of the world. And I know that a lot of people can roll their eyes and be dismissive, but fashion's not just a way to express oneself, whether it's socio-political themes or self-expression. It actually has a very important role. I mean, it sometimes can be restrictive, but it can be also liberating, especially when it looked through the female view, right? For example, let's say when bikes were all the rage, right? The invention of the bicycle. It was incredible because it gave everybody freedom to go places that were far away. But women couldn't ride those bikes with the cumbersome, heavy, bulky, long skirts. Mm-hmm. So when the fashion industry responded with pantaloons and shorter skirts, the sales of the bikes went through the roof. Mm-hmm. So fashion does play an important role. Same thing with something as simple as hair, right? In the late 1800s, women used to wear hair way past their calves, right? Knees to the calves. Sure. They couldn't wash their hair. There was no shampoo. So washing was such a long process, and they would wash it maybe every 3-4 weeks and using all kinds of weird things, including lard, and they would have to brush their hair. So swimming was not an option. Spas were not an option. And this is something that men would enjoy. So boom, 1920s comes. What happens? The bob. Hair is short. All of a sudden, women have swim teams in the Olympics. They're swimming. They're going to spas. So even though it's easy to dismiss fashion, I think it plays a major role in our society.
I know that you're not going to believe this, but I used to wear only designer clothes at one point in my 20s. Yeah, and then kind of expanded horizontally, so I kind of fell out of that. But you are so right. I did a paper on the history of fashion, and there are some styles that kind of restricted women, like high heels and corsets. And
well, high heels don't restrict me, though.
They won't. No, they restrict me, but not you. Not at all. So yeah, thank you for sharing all that. And let's see, how do you stay inspired and keep your designs fresh and innovative?
That is a very important thing for me, especially if I do the same show every year. The Dunedin Wearable Art Show is one that I've participated many years in a row. And one of the priorities for me was I wanted to surprise the audience. Right. And I tend to do that and as that goal, and I work myself backwards. So, for example, the first year was something borrowed. So it was all wedding dresses. And then it was nature, right? And then it went, urban England. So it's very important to me that I don't become stale or that I am stale. And so I'm always looking for inspirations, and I find a lot of it through my travels. I think it inspires me a lot.
Yes, for sure. Mm-hmm. That's seeing new things will also always inspire people. What trends or themes do you see emerging in wearable art, and how do they influence your work?
It used to be that people wore just clothes, and it was the cut or the colors that would make it unique or fashionable, right? Now we're seeing imagery. We're seeing words, right? We're seeing the body itself being used as a way of expression, like tattoos now is mainstream.
Yes.
Tattoos 25 years ago, if a woman wore it,
Yes.
So I'm seeing that as well in wearable art, meaning that it's not just a very weird thing anymore. It could be as simple as you go on a website and you transfer whichever image is important to you and put it on a t-shirt, transferring that image to tights or leotards, or so it's become mainstream now. It's not.
You can put your own dog or your kid on shirts.
Exactly. I mean, I think I put my children's faces on my from Father's Day on my husband's tie. So it's much more mainstream and more usable.
Okay. I had something to say about that, but I lost my train of thought. Do you ever get inspired at council meetings?
No.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
No, actually, you brought up a good point. So the reason I'm really excited about this show is because this is the first time really in 2 years that I have fully immersed myself into art. For some reason, because I'm a multitasker. I've always had many roles. I don't understand why, but I have a very hard time merging or flipping from politician to artist.
Okay.
It's very hard for me to get that zone feeling.
Yeah, well, they're two very different things.
Yeah, and the political part of it, that leadership of this city that I love so much, is all consuming for me. Like I'm always worried about the next thing or thinking about the next thing, and the phone is always ringing, and it's just so hard for me to turn it off and get that zone.
And it kind of chips away at you if you don't have that creative outlet, for sure.
One of the reasons why I started the Elvis-inspired collection was because I had this conversation with my daughter, and I said, Bianca, I feel like my soul's dying. Like I'm not doing anything creatively, but I can't do a fashion show. I don't have the time. And she says, well, then do something smaller than a fashion show. But I did feel like a little bit
Bianca is very smart, isn't she?
She's exceptionally smart. So smart. She's annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad she's told you that. But I remember what I was going to say. You actually did a dress that said, I love Clearwater all over it.
Yes, I did one of the properties in downtown that have been empty for many, many years. I asked the property owner if I can fill the windows with art. And so I filled all 3 windows with 3 different outfits with the word I love Clearwater written all over them.
That's awesome. Yes. So you can express your love for Clearwater in all types of ways. How do you see the intersection of fashion and art evolving in the future?
I definitely feel that the boundaries are becoming less and less. And I think it's becoming more mainstream. And I think it's wonderful. I love diversity. I love self-expression. And I don't like cookie cutter anything. I don't know, when you talked about the council, do I look like do I look like I belong there?
You do stand out.
Yeah. And it's probably going to happen more and more as the years go by. But I think it's healthy.
Okay. Now, I recently read a book. It's one of these young adult novels, kind of like futuristic, where you could press a button and the garment changes colors. Yeah. You can think about that and how that could possibly happen. I don't know. That one is beyond me. But how do you approach designing for different body types or sizes? Or do you? Maybe you don't.
Oh, no, I do. That's why when I do a collection, I tend to think of the model first. So I do, after a couple of years, I know many models. So there are certain things that I would never put on a certain model. And I'll give you an example. When I did the Natura collection, one of the pieces was a tree.
Did you say tuna? What collection?
Natura, which is Italian for nature.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you know or not, but I incorporate performance art into my fashion.
Okay.
So the models are usually dancers or actors because they either have to enact the role or they have to dance. So
I remember going to a wearable art show where you did that, and it was fascinating.
they come out in their character, and then when they're done, they turn around and they take a deep breath, and then they walk off the stage as a model, but they always come out in their character.
Okay.
So with that in mind, one of the pieces was a tree. The tree had a plunging neckline with no sides on the skirt. There is no way I would put that garment on a voluptuous model.
For sure.
Right?
Because how do you get it on?
Well, it's just too much, right?
Yes.
It's a tree. It needs to be lean. It needs to be narrow. Now, there's another outfit, which is a mermaid silhouette. That I actually, made the big effort to find a model that was curvy, because that's what it called for. So there's definitely some thought into my designs according to the body type.
What would you put me in? Like a manatee or something?
Kelly. We've talked about this.
I won't make you answer that. Okay.
A dropped waist.
What?
I would put you in a dropped waist dress.
Dropped waist dress. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And I hate dresses, don't you, Lena?
Yes, Kelly, but we're still, I still have hope for you.
Okay. There's still hope for me. All right. Thank you, Lena. What role does storytelling play in your creations, and how do you convey narratives through your work?
It's imperative, actually, because it's wearable art, and I love to show the different dimensions. So it's not just fashion, it's not just art, it's performance, it's acting. It's very, very important to me. There is no piece that I feel, this is a rule that I have, and a lot of people kind of don't understand it, but I don't think it's very rare that there's a piece of fashion that's worth more than 55 seconds on the runway. It just gets boring, right? And so
I've never thought about that.
I do.
But,
I mean, when I watch it, it's like, okay, I've seen it, I've done it. Yes, stop twirling
you walk
around.
down and you walk back, and that's
right.
That's it.
So for me, it's important that there's a story behind it, right? I don't just do, this is a collection where I put chiffon or a collection of paper. There has to be a story. There has to be, significance to it, and it has to be three-dimensional.
And the example that comes to my mind is the Victoria's Secret runway show with the wings and all the different types of wings. So yeah, that's very, very true. How do you market your wearable art, and what strategies have worked best for you?
So I have not done any for 2 years.
That's true.
However,
you need to fix that. Well, you did.
One of my favorite campaigns, and it's brow raising, but I'm very proud of it, was my shoes. And I realized that I was selling shoes the wrong way. And so I came up with this campaign where it was beautiful men and just the leg of a woman. And the campaign was called "You Can Leave Your Shoes On," and that's it. Because what I'm trying to say is that's all you need is those shoes. There was no clothes, and it was so striking that even now people talk about it because.
But what were they wearing? If they weren't wearing clothes, just leotards or something? They weren't walking naked, were they, Lena?
The women, you can only see from their knee down.
Okay.
So it's just their leg. Oh. And the men were nude, but were tastefully, meaning it was just a silhouette. But my implication was that if the shoe's great, that's all you need.
Interesting.
And it was incredible how much my sales went up. Not from women buying the shoes, but from the men.
Really?
Because men now visualize their women in those shoes.
Really?
Yeah. That was
That's
one of the
really
most
interesting. I would
risk-taking-
love seeing pictures of that.
Oh, I have it here, honey.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now instead of people stopping you to talk about city business, they're going to want to see those pictures.
I have them on my phone.
Awesome. What advice would you give? Here we go. Oh, my goodness. Look at this.
Mhm.
And you have very unique, wonderful shoes yourself.
Yes, I
Every
love
time I
shoes.
see you, it's like a different pair.
I love shoes. I love shoes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So if you want to see, well, it's not showing everything, and it's tastefully done.
It's very tasteful.
Yes, that's
Just go to my IG account. It's called Lena's Wearable Art, and you can scroll down. I haven't been adding anything in the last 2 years, but
Okay. Venus
the
Wearable
history.
Art on Instagram has those. What she just talked about with the shoes. And I'm going to check that out for sure. What advice would you give to aspiring wearable art designers just starting in the industry?
don't make the same mistakes that I made, which was
You
just
didn't make any mistakes.
Yes, I did. Stop worrying. Don't be stressed. Be who you are. Do what you got to do. I mean, it depends on the artist, but one of the things that I always feel that was important to me was that, and this might not be the same for other artists, but to me, the art never had to supersede the fashion.
Okay.
So in other words, I would never do a piece of art piece that made somebody look like a box, right? So to me, the silhouette was always important. The fashion was always important. And then I incorporated the art into the fashion, not the fashion into the art.
So you don't think clothes can be made out of boxes?
It could, but I'm going to cut them
It's not
and
gonna
place
be
them
that
in
pretty,
such.
though.
Well, no, I could make it pretty. It's just the way I would cut it and place them.
I see.
You would have a nice silhouette.
Okay. Perfect. Are your creations for sale?
Some are.
Some are.
Mm-hmm.
In matter of fact, I'm going to have you stand up because you're going to explain what you have around your waist.
So this is called the Hipsy. It's my
A
design.
Hipsy.
Hipsy.
Okay.
It's my design. It's trademarked. And this is a very flat pouch where your iPhone can fit in.
Okay.
Because I'm tired of like always dropping it or putting it in my bra strap.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
And
it comes in black, brown, and red. I don't know how much I have left.
Black, brown, and red. And that is something I for sure can, you know me, I like putting stuff on my waist. And there's a reason for that because I used to travel a lot and leave stuff everywhere. So now it's attached to me and I could really use one of those. How much are they?
So I'm doing a big, huge special. It's $25 and all the proceeds will be going to the Clearwater Art Alliance.
That's perfect. And tell us one more time about the Uncommon Couture exhibit.
It will be September 3rd from 6 to 8 at the library. We're going to be having some music, hors d'oeuvres, and wine. You'll be able to see a collection of my work throughout the last 10 years, as well as 4 big new pieces. There's going to be shoes, headpieces. There's going to be photography of my work, as well as mannequins with different gowns.
Okay, that's the opening.
Yes.
On the 3rd from 6 to 8 at the Clearwater Main Library.
And it'll be there till the 21st.
21st, okay. And
so this is something that I wanted to do because I wanted to showcase the arts in Clearwater and let everybody know that the Clearwater leadership is supporting the arts for Clearwater.
Yes.
And this is the way I'm giving back.
That's
and so there was
perfect.
like 3 weeks of no exhibits. So I offered to fill those 3 weeks with my stuff. And I'm trying to get as many leaders as possible to attend the reception because I want to send a very strong message that Clearwater supports the arts. We value all that it contributes, including the economic impact.
Well, I don't know if I'm a leader, but I did get an invitation and I am going to be there. Okay. Lena, do you have a website?
Yes, it's www.linateixeira.com. So it's LINATEIXEIRA.com. My Instagram is Lena's Wearable Art. And my email is lena@linateixeira.com. Or you can call me at 727-409-3604.
That is awesome. Thank you. So I have time for a couple of fun questions because I know you love those.
Yes, I do.
What's the one item you can't live without?
Shoes.
Shoes. You know what? That's perfect. That's a perfect answer for Lena. Okay. If you were to win the lottery, what's the first thing you would do?
I would travel more.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there's so much of the world that I haven't seen yet.
Do you have like a much desired destination to go to?
Yeah, so I've been blessed, and I've been to Europe many, many, many times. My family's there. My husband's family's there, but I haven't gone to Asia and the Africas and South America a bit. But I really need to go to the Asias a bit more. I've only been to Japan. I want to go to Thai. I want to go to Philippines. I want to go to China. You know, I want to go. So I just want to experience different cultures.
Me too. I really want to see Bali and Singapore. So awesome. What is your favorite line from any movie?
Movie or TV show?
Well, you can improvise here. It's not written in stone.
It's not that it means anything to me. It's just the way it was said. It just seemed so desperate and so raw. And it was from ER when Meredith said, "Pick me, just pick me." I thought it was so raw, and it just stuck in my mind.
Okay. I love it. Okay. What do you prefer, talking on the phone or texting?
Depends.
It depends.
It does.
Depends on the person?
No, it depends on what the purpose of the call is. If it's just to shoot, just a, gab, absolutely phone call. Okay. But if it's anything to do professionally, then I want it on text because then I have it on record.
On record. That's smart.
And it's fast.
Nope.
I abbreviate a lot, and I'm very short with my text.
Yes.
Yep. No.
Very short in your text.
Because I'm usually texting.
Not so much in person, however.
But usually it's because I'm texting 4 or 5 different people at the same time. That's why.
Really? Okay, I learned something else about you. What reality show do you think you'd be the best fit for?
Project Runway.
Project Runway.
If they took the drama out.
Yeah. Get rid of all the but they have to have the drama to make it watchable. They actually create the drama.
Yes, and that's what I was told. I was told it was created, and I just don't like that.
Oh. That's right. That's right. So what television commercial from growing up do you remember most? That's tough because you got to think a little.
No, I know right away. It was a Canadian commercial at Christmas. CFCF 12 was the channel. And every year they had this beautiful, sad, well, I say it's sad, but it's instrumental. And it showed winter scenes of Clydesdale horses and rivers going, rivers and snow falling and stuff like that.
It wasn't Budweiser, was it? It was something else.
No, it was not Budweiser. It was literally CFCF 12.
When I think of Clydesdale.
It was like literally CFCF 12 wishes you season's greetings. And it's very poignant. And both my husband and I remember that one.
Okay. And I have one final question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you overly loyal to any clothing brands?
No.
You're not?
Mm-mm.
I honestly thought I was going to get an answer out of that.
No, okay. I am not.
Okay.
If it sucks, it sucks. I don't care who did it.
Awesome. I think if I had to pick one, Liz Claiborne. But I haven't, like I said, worn designer clothing in probably 20 years. So I don't know what she's doing now. Or I think she's dead, isn't she?
I don't know. Well, I've seen so many times where I'm like, oh, I love that designer. Oh, what's she thinking? I'm not going to buy it just because she did it.
Me too. I think maybe not all of them. Who's the guy who had the sparkles? Bob Mackie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I changed my mind.
Okay.
What's that guy's name? McQueen?
McQueen. Yes. Alexander McQueen. That's one of my favorites.
I'm sorry. He's the exception.
Yes.
He cannot do any wrong.
Okay. Yes. Do you have any final words about anything?
I want everyone to come to the exhibit. I want to again let everyone know that Clearwater's leadership supports the arts, and we want you all to come and visit the exhibit. September
Awesome.
3rd.
And I'll be there. Thank you. Thank you, Lena.
Thanks for listening to the award-winning Kelly Kelly Show on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
WTAN, Clearwater,
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Christopher Cruz. Much of the Midwest sweltered